Thanks for the tip-off. Got people clear before trouble hit.
You spend far too much time here, Dorian.
This is where all my favorite people are. Besides, I have news, and every messenger bird I've met is dreadful at nuance.
Magister Parvus, it's good to see you again.
At least someone appreciates my presence.
You're our eyes. In the Magisterium. If someone spots you here...
Yes, I know. Can't be spotted with the shadow dragons. You worry too much, May.
Well, what do you have for us?
The cult lost people in Alathan, and leadership has fallen to Knight Commander Lenos. He aims to bring the city to its knees.
But Minrathous is already falling apart.
I know. While the Varantis' attack on the city could have been much worse, the people's fear in the aftermath is palpable.
And the rumors about the assassinated during the Dragon's Rampage. The palace has tried to keep the news from spreading until a new Archon steps up.
And no one has?
No one dares. Not with the Venatori circling like vultures. The risen gods are preparing for something big. And for that, they need fear. Chaos.
More fear. More chaos. Haven't the Venatori done enough?
Restraint is not exactly their strong point, Rook. Lenos is the key to all of it. First, we stop what he's planning for Minrathous.
And then we find out what the gods are preparing for.
Let's hope it stays that simple. One of Lenos' Venatori associates is often at the Cobbled Swan. Let's see what we can get from him.
We? Dorian, you can't be going yourself.
It's the Swan. Everyone goes to the Swan.
I'll head out right now.
It's really great what the shadow dragons are doing for the city. Still too many people here, though. For me, at least.
We probably shouldn't keep Dorian waiting too long. There's Dorian.
There's Lenos' associate. According to the shadows watching him, he's nervous and doesn't talk much, but does odd jobs for coin. Interesting, yes? I'll draw him off, you check his belongings, see if you can discover any clues about Lenos' plan.
Mostly gone. Warm. Half-eaten stale bread, water flask, muddy socks, and a bedroll. It's definitely seen better days. And it's damp. Sleeping out in the rain.
What are you poking about in there for?
The others are bartenders, but I'm the mixologist. I don't serve drinks. I build libations. Let me know if you want anything.
Lenos intends to destroy the city with Blight and Darkspawn.
Carthus. Nothing like an attack to cause chaos in a city. You should head there immediately.
All right, let's go.
We fight as one.
Your heresy failed! Good one!
Doctrines ready. Beat the odds there.
Watch ahead. You gotta move.
Something tore through these gates. Something big. Watch out! I bet this dark spawn was what tore through the gates.
Now there's a nice shot.
More blight in the way. That did it. We can get through now.
Think there's enough of them? Take that.
Everything's crumbling down here. Might be tricky to get out.
At least a dozen people have been lost trying to map this place. But I'd mention that.
Still blocked. There's another boil somewhere. Find the blight boils. We need to clear the way and keep pushing. We got it. Way should be clear.
Shadow dragons? How did you find this place? Venatori, to me! Do you think you can stop the Venatori? All the risen gods?
I can stop you, and that's one less problem for the city.
The shadow dragons have brought nothing but chaos to the city.
At least we're not trying to blight it. Time to end this.
Ranged incoming.
Look out!
Hitting us from range.
My job's done. Your turn.
You gotta move.
That's one less corrupt Templar in the Mathis.
Can't say he'll be missed.
Let's look around, see what we find. These star charts predict an eclipse to make magic stronger. Lenos's documents. They detail the Venatori's long-term plans and what they want to do to Tevinter. The Risen God's ritual. That's what the gods in the Venatori are preparing for.
So that's the play. A ritual performed under an eclipse to strengthen its power.
All this. The ritual, the eclipse, and the Venatori plans. We have to bring this to the Shadow Dragons immediately.
We should tell the Shadow Dragons what we found.
Evil old gods, rituals, waiting for the stars. It's about as Tevinter as blood magic and hubris. Learning about the gods' plans is wonderful, of course. But the lists of magisters you got your hands on, now there's the real gold.
You've looked at it already. Of course you have.
Information on their backers, the ties to illegal slavery. Don't you see what this means?
This is power, May. Imagine becoming Archon and using this against those who've been hurting the people for years.
You, on the throne? Dorian.
Tell me that wouldn't be a splendid way to bring about real change.
We expose corruption and stop slavers, but nothing really changes. What makes you think it'll be different this time?
Surely you're not suggesting we give up entirely. After all, you're still here. The rot in Tevinter is buried deep. We've been digging it out bit by bit, only for it to grow back. But what you've given us allows us to strike at the heart.
So the rot has no chance to return. But how would you use this information exactly?
Dorian wants to use it to crush our enemies by whatever means necessary. I prefer to use it to rally the people. I say we make the information known. Allow the people to see the real justice served. Prove that from now on, we work for them.
We tried that already. Or have you forgotten the Lucerni? I no longer trust that political machine will work in our favor. No. We must get at the root of the problem before they can react. A more forceful approach. Destroy them and their networks utterly.
Swords and spies and blackmail? The devious means you learned in the South? If we go outside the system, we invite everyone else to do the same. No, we have to do this in the open. Show the people of Tevinter that we're here for them.
We're Shadow Dragons. It's right there in the name. You supported this because you knew the system didn't work for the people.
The point was to work in the shadows until we could work in the light. And Rook has brought us what we need.
May, the Imperium's politics burned you once and you still...
Enough. We're not the only ones who have a stake in this. Rook, we're talking about your city. Your Tevinter too. Which strategy do you prefer?
What sort of change are you trying to achieve?
For a start, slavery. Abhorrent. It needs to go no more.
And Tevinter has been ruled by the Altus Mages for all of its history. That must change. The Zoparati, non-mages, deserve a say in their own governance.
And all that's just the beginning of what will undoubtedly be a long journey.
Shouldn't you be on the same side?
We are on the same side. We both know what Tevinter needs. How best to get it, that's the question.
If we went with Dorian's plan, I'd support it fully. But we won't, because he'll come around and realize that I'm right.
And I'd absolutely back you up on that, if you were right, which you aren't.
We'll see.
Will we?
Dorian, are you really suggesting violent revolution?
Not necessarily. Sometimes a mere threat of violence is sufficient.
He learned that from his friends in the south. I hear Ferelden settled a succession crisis with a duel.
It worked. Astoundingly.
We're not Ferelden.
I'm merely saying we need to consider bold and creative methods of achieving our ends. The game is rigged. Why play by rules crooked magisters already exploit? Clear the board and start over. If they're gone, we can fill the magisterium with those who respect the office. Then we'll actually see progress.
Nevaris, you really believe making this evidence public will work?
Dorian wants to work behind the scenes, but once again, it's the Magisters and Highbloods pulling the Imperium's strings. That doesn't inspire. It's a tactic used by our enemies. We need to show Tevinter that we can be different.
Unless they find some way to bury it? Or leverage their wealth, power, and status as they often have before?
Politics is a long game. If we use force against our enemies, our allies will remember it.
You want me to choose who will be Archon? Sure, I'm a Shadow Dragon, but there are so many others here.
Then talk to them. Ask what they think. Asher and Tarquin, Nev, Gallus, they're all a part of this, just as you are. We should all be comfortable with whatever course we take.
All right, I'll go do that.
Grand news about Lenos. One less crooked Templar in town.
He could have done so much with his position.
But he chose his side and got what he deserved.
Lenos made my life miserable. Rana's too.
I hear he started out different. Maybe he once cared about something other than gold. But I didn't know that, Lenos. And I'm not going to mourn the one I did. Still, I'll thank the bastard for writing everything down and delivering it to us all neat.
Dorian and Mevaris still have to decide what to do with everything we got from Lenos.
They both make good points. I just want what's best for our city and its people.
I suspect this decision will determine Tevinter's path for years to come.
Then Dorian's way is my choice. He knows you don't stop to talk when you find a hole in the enemy's defenses.
Dorian is a brash rebel.
And Mevaris too much of a romantic.
I think the people will appreciate Mevaris returning as the leader they've always wanted to see.
No. They'll appreciate their lives actually changing for the better.
This is not helping. At all.
If I'd known you wanted help, I wouldn't have said anything.
Quinn.
What? Opinions are cheap. Sometimes you just have to go where you go.
I have faith, Rook.
Still not helpful. So, what do you think?
Lenos is gone. We got information about the Venatori's plans, the god's ritual. I'd call that a good day.
I meant about Mevaris and Dorian. We all want change. Who will be more effective in getting it?
Oh, that. You're dragging me into it?
You're the famed detective. What's the right call?
This isn't a murder.
Politics is murder. Isn't that what they always say?
Maevaris Talani has been in this game for decades. She's dedicated and ruthless when she needs to be. Dorian Parvis is a wild card. Flashy and inventive, he'll keep his enemies on their toes. Tevinter needs change, and it needs to stop waiting for it. Asking politely won't work. We need someone who knows that, someone not afraid to get their hands dirty. That person is Dorian.
Thanks, Nev. That helps.
That's what I'm here for.
Get the new supplies, will ya?
In a moment.
Always good to see you in here, Rook. Keep safe out there.
Everyone's talking about how you helped drive off the dragon. I'm glad I wasn't anywhere near the area.
You may touch the treasure, but only for a price.
Where were we?
I thought I'd let go of Syrian the first time. I didn't. Not really. This time, I don't know. I still don't know if I will.
You never do. Funny, the things that wake you up years after you think they're gone.
I'm at peace with it. Real peace this time. So even if I carry it with me, it's lighter now. Maybe I'm not making sense. Am I making sense?
More than you think.
Maker. A full quarter of the Magisterium supporting a cult. Bending the knee to these risen old gods just for a taste of more power. Can they not see they're only tools for the gods? So they can destroy the world?
Demanding intelligence, rationality, and self-awareness from our peers. You ask too much, Maevaris.
Look at me. Such a fool.
Ah, it's Rook. You spoke with the others.
What do you think? Who should be leading the charge from here on?
I hope this signals the start of the change we've worked toward.
The start of the change, as you say. Things won't be different overnight.
But we'll keep fighting, because we have to, because there's no other way.
And with you and everyone here, we'll get there. We'll win. Keep believing, Rook.
What happens after it's decided who'll lead?
Well, Lenos is gone, the cult's numbers are down, and they're scrambling to prepare for the god's ritual. They'll be distracted. It's a perfect opportunity to get our preparations in order.
All plans contingent on surviving the current disaster, of course.
Dorian should lead.
Then it is decided. Of course, it only makes sense, but... Ha! Look at me! The sudden pressure.
You won't be alone. All of us are behind you. The Shadow Dragons, the city, our people.
It will take all of them to overcome the risen gods.
You'll find a way to bring them together.
The people know they don't want blight-ridden fiends in their city. They don't need me to tell them. I can, however, show them how to fight. Gods, cults, evil magisters, nothing will stand in our way of forging a new Tevinter.
reach up there for me?
Of course.
Heard about that damned Knight Commander. Good vigilance. Come back.
Johanna?
Volker.
We'll practice form next.
Does all of them have a lot of truffles?
Probably. Why? Got something in mind? You all set?
Hey, Antoine. Evka.
I can still hear it. Though it is giving me a headache.
Please be careful.
With the container? It's very sturdy. I tested it.
What? When? And how?
Am I interrupting?
No. Our study of the new blight continues.
We know the gods changed the blight. We think it changed more than they realized, or altered itself after.
It's answering to something other than gods.
Great. Figures. So what's the blight answering to?
Remember the strange call I heard after the Lavendale battle? It was here, in the wetlands.
We think the source is out a ways, towards the redoubt.
I can tell it's something large, rooted. A construct of the blight itself. An eruption controlling the rest. What that could mean... Everything that calls the blight impacts the wardens. We withstand it. But gods, archdemons, it all adds strain.
If the eruption calls the blight, then it could mess with us too. Spark the calling sooner. We'll lose ourselves, along with the wetlands.
Should you have told me about all this? About the calling?
First Warden would have said no.
You're our friend. You chase archdemons and fight the blight. It seems fair you know what this means.
Antoine, you hear stuff in the blight more than some of the others. Are you?
Yes. A little sensitive, but it's not calling to me. Not yet. Like everyone else, I'll know when that changes.
This is bad. But you two are fine, really. You sure you haven't heard anything, or?
We're fine. It's not... We're fine. Remember those samples you found when we first arrived? Based on our studies, Antoine made an alchemical flame. It's impressive. It should destroy the eruption.
Theoretically. At least the last batch was stable. Mostly.
But if the eruption's controlling the blight and it gets attacked, then the blight around Lavendale might respond.
Yes. Its roots are everywhere. And spreading. I can feel them.
These people can't lose their blight experts. I can go after the eruption.
While we guard against nasty side effects here.
Stay safe. Or as safe as you can.
I've no fear when Evka's at my back.
You've always got me.
The blight poisons so much. Water, plants, animals, people. Some would call the wetlands dead already, but they're not. It's not too late. Whatever the eruption means for the waters, we can leave this place better. It's what we're supposed to do.
We'll take our stand in the sheltered glade. Meet us there when you're done.
Be ready. Here we go!
Done, Rook.
There's definitely something in here. Something wrong.
Okay, let us know when we're close.
The eruption's on the other side of that barrier.
We'll need to cut off the tendrils to break through.
And also, those dark spots. Have to deal with it. Up there! That ledge! We can destroy the tendrils from there.
A ballista.
Never turn down one of those.
We're through.
Let's see what's at the heart of this.
Finish with that!
All right. Better move before more darkspawn. Show up. What is it? Is that the Blight eruption?
Oh, wow, that's, big.
Darkspawn are protecting it. We need to take them out. Cover it.
I can hear that eruption. The light's spreading. We need to stop it.
Ranged incoming! Put them down, please. Cameron, are you okay?
The eruption's not happy. Just keep fighting. We're not falling. We won't give in.
Bad spot, move!
That's a win.
This is it. Let's get that eruption. All right. We strike and the whole thing goes up. All right. Time to destroy this thing.
I volunteered to sweep the caves later.
They aren't blighted. Were they dormant?
Maybe. They're beautiful. Much like you. Ah, Rook, hi!
We knew when you hit that eruption. The blight around Lavendel reacted. And there was a sound in it. Like nothing we've heard before.
What happened in there? What was it like?
There's some pretty scary things in the Minratha's catacombs. I've never seen anything like that.
A story for your fellow shadows?
Not sure even the Viper will believe it.
When the eruption was destroyed, some of the bigger tendrils pulled back. The remaining blight won't vanish overnight, but it's a good sign. And this place opened up.
The flowers here, they managed to survive, buried, untouched. They have a chance to return now.
Look at you, out here with the flowers and a moment alone that I walked into the middle of.
You're fine.
Yes, please. Enjoy the flowers.
We thought the Grey Warden's purpose would end when the last archdemons died.
And that time's almost here. It's unbelievable!
The Order is those of us left now. When the archdemons fall, some wardens will hang up their swords. Until they're calling, at least.
So the Wardens are finished?
No, our numbers may get smaller, but Efka and I will be here. Others will stay too.
There's still blight in the world. There's something new calling to it. And to us.
There's blight inside us too. If it changed out there, have we changed as well?
What matters is that if new evils show up, we'll be here to keep them back.
Are you doing okay with all this? Really?
Don't worry, I'm good. I've got everything I need right here.
Me too.
You really think something inside you has changed?
It's possible. Or maybe we're the same. But does that mean we'll be the same? You can't sense the blight. But trust us, it feels different. And the sound is changing too.
As for what it means, it's like Antoine said. We don't know yet.
I'm sure you'll be fine, but if there's anything I can do, just say.
Of course. It's good we answered your first letter. And it didn't catch fire.
What?
It may have come close to an explosive, but we all met in the end.
The blight feels relentless most of the time. We see what it does up close.
The world dying, how it spreads. But we keep going.
And look, these flowers can make it back.
They can? Okay, I'll leave you two alone. With the flowers. And the sweet moment I didn't interrupt.
It's fine, I promise. Are you worried we don't go on dates? Because we do. Lavendel was named for flowers. They must have been everywhere before. When we get back.
We can stay here a bit longer first.
Oh yes. I thought I heard birds earlier. Maybe we can find them?
The wetlands aren't fully healed.
But some places barely come back at all.
Yeah. Pushing back the blight. It's possible.